Hello guys, my name is Pavni and I'm with Puneet today. We are sitting with Mr. Jeff Bullas, who is a very promising and a very popular author, blogger and marketer. So would you mind telling our viewers a little bit about what you do?
Well, we started the blog about 7 years ago now, and it was on the topic of social media, and because I was fascinated with what was happening then, because people were obsessed with Facebook, they were obsessed with Twitter back then, and the mobile phone was just starting to make its presence felt, and so I noticed this obsession. I went, I'd like to start creating content on this topic, and that was 7 years ago in 2009, and we started writing about the social media web, and then mobile started to get more presence, and I created the best content I could, and it was a passion project initially, and then it actually became a business. So today I go around travelling the world speaking. I also we do some affiliate marketing, we do sell digital products, we do a range of things. So and the other thing that's really happening, that's really interesting at the moment, is the rise of influencer marketing. So we play in that space as well.
Thank you so much. So for my next question, you told us that you started out as a blogger 7 years ago. What are some difficulties that you faced at that time? And if there are any tips you would want to give to our young bloggers so they would be able to avoid some of the common mistakes that people usually make?
Okay, so one of the biggest things that you're going to face is persisting. In other words, you are not going to be a success overnight. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of work. And that's why having something you're passionate about is really, really important. So persistence is really, really important. And I think being passionate about your topic is also absolutely vital, because that will give you the energy you need to keep going and keep doing the work. So you need to create content around your topic. And also what you need to do is, it's not just about content, because content marketing is 2 words, and content is only one of them. So you need to hustle your content out there. And that's really important to do. In other words, you need to build distribution for your content. Because online, in this digital world, you actually are defined by content. And you're not sitting face to face with someone, or in a room with them, or having a chat at a bar. You actually are sharing content online. So content defines you. So creating the best content you can that adds value to people's lives, inspires them, educates, informs, and maybe even entertains them is really, really important. So, persistence is really important, being passionate about what you do, choosing a topic that is in the space, and then just keep at it. It really is important. And just build distribution for your own content. Because that's what the social web is really cool. It's where it really is powerful, is this, it's democratized marketing and publishing. And you can build your own audience without having to beg or pay, the old gatekeepers such as big media companies. So, because in the past, small companies didn't have the budget to, be on TV. Essentially, you can be your own TV channel if you want to these days. So, there's some of the tips I would recommend. There are a lot of other ones, but I think we'll leave it there.
Thank you.
So, Jeff, wanted to ask you that you must be concentrating a lot on the content aspect when you go on to create blog posts. How much of social media is in your back of your mind when you write on your content? Is it specific to platforms, or do you just concentrate more on the content aspect of it?
Well, we're always thinking about trying to put ourselves in the readers', viewers' shoes, and so I'm always thinking what their biggest problems are. So, some of them might be, how do I get traffic? Okay, so for example, I created a free ebook called 101 Plus Tips to drive traffic to your website without paying Google or Facebook a cent.
You need to watch out for that.
So that is a common problem, you see. So that sort of ebook really, really adds value to my readers' lives, and that's what we're always thinking of, is how can I add value to my audience, and that's really important. So you're not writing about your products, you're not writing about your stuff, you actually are writing about the problems and challenges they have and the aspirations they also have.
Next question is something that a lot of people struggle with. The number of people on social media is increasing day by day. There are so many companies that try to make use of social media to promote their brand. And there are so many people who actually act as spam. So the audience doesn't really know which one to focus on, which is important, which isn't. So how do you think that a company can make a stand, like make themselves show out of the crowd on social media, which is such a big platform these days?
Yeah, so branding can be part of that. So one thing I learned was when I started, I was going to just have a picture of me, a nice glamour shot, try and look good, photoshopped and everything, but I was talked into actually creating a caricature, which was like a cartoon character of me sitting on a pile of books with a laptop in my hand, and that actually was a great branding success because not many people have that sort of cartoon caricature as their branding, so it stood out. Then the other thing you've got to be is relentless. In other words, you've got to be in people's inboxes and their email, you've got to be showing up in the Twitter stream, you've got to be turning up on Facebook posts, on YouTube. So you've got to really push yourself out to the world. So creating great content at your portal, at your hub, whether it's your blog or your website, your e-commerce store, and then making sure you're building multi-channel distribution to get your content out there. That builds credibility and trust, because content builds credibility and trust. It's engagement, and if you create great content, people go, wow, this is so good, I'm going to come back again. So, and also builds that loyalty.
You just talked about having a caricature. That's a great idea, but don't you think being different sometimes can be very risky?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I almost didn't do that.
Yeah.
So, nothing is done without taking a risk these days.
Right.
Life is a risk. So you've got to try some different things. And that was a risk I took. I thought I would look foolish and stupid as a cartoon character. But I remember going to America and they're going, you look just like your caricature. So I went, cool. So that was one of the ways of breaking through. And then the other way of breaking through is building that distribution from search engines to email to social, and building that authority online. And it takes time. It's one brick at a time to build that digital house.
So Jeff, you're at this conference about creativity and innovation.
Yep.
So what advice do you have for people or for brands to bridge that gap, which is usually there between creativity and innovation when it comes to marketing and communications?
Okay, so there's two parts to digital marketing today for startups or existing businesses, and it's the art and science of marketing. And creativity can exist in both spaces. In other words, an interesting topic, something that's a little bit out there that poses a controversial question. I remember writing an article which said why you should forget Facebook, right? And it's sort of like, I've got to read this. And it blew up. It was the top LinkedIn article globally.
Can you tell us a little bit about what was that in that article?
Okay, so what's underneath that was research which showed that you should forget Facebook for organic reach, because Facebook was winding back its organic reach. They were moving to pay to play. So it was why you should forget Facebook for organic reach on the social web. So, and it was validated. But the headline was controversial. Some would say it was link bait, but it was backed up by solid facts. So that's the creativity piece. It's writing an interesting headline that gets people to click, that gets people to read, and you back it up with great information. So, and then on the other side, there's technical innovation, like using assessment tools and surveys, and how do you do that? Like some of the best content marketers in the world, which is one of the fastest growing media companies in the world, BuzzFeed, found out that quizzes worked well, and essentially they use technology to build easy to do quizzes online. So it's creative and it's also technology, and the modern marketer has got to be able to do both. He might have to have all the skills himself, but he needs to know where to find them.
Yeah, that's definitely an attention-catching headline. It made me ask you what the article is about. I think we're done here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe one last one. I think we could. Since you've written so many blog posts, and is there something out there that people don't know about you? Could you share something that maybe you've never written about or shared?
Well, I don't share this often, but I do like wearing lycra. And I mean the cycling type of lycra. Okay, so I'm a passionate road cyclist, and we go and ride at different events with friends around the world. We just did a ride in South Africa called the Argus, which is nearly 40,000 riders at Cape Town. So that's maybe something you don't know about me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. It's a pleasure talking to you today, and we wish you all the best and have a great trip in India.
Thank you.